Finishing off a short 2-game road trip, and they haven't lost on it. And Sean Burke, who won on Saturday night in St. Louis, is the starter tonight for the New Jersey Devils. The 23-year-old from Toronto is backed up by Chris Terreri. Starting tonight for the Winnipeg Jets at the other end of the rink is 21-year-old Rick Tabaracci, who came in for the third period of last night's 5-1 loss to the Vancouver Canucks. Bob Essenza has been the main man, but might not be for long if Tabaracci can get hot. Essenza is the backup tonight. Mick Magoo is the referee for this game. He's from Regina. Shane Heyer and Jerry Pateman are the linesmen, and this game is underway with the former Jet Laurie Boschman starting at center for New Jersey with Patrick Sundstrom and Claude Lemieux, and they're right in after the puck. Brent Ashton, Phil Sykes, and Mark Kumpel, the forwards starting for Bob Murdoch's Winnipeg Jets. And the puck is chipped down the ice by the Jets, who have Phil Housley and Gord Donnelly starting on defense. Bruce Driver is back for the puck. His defensive partner is the former Red Wing, Lee Norwood, who came over in a recent deal for Paul Eisenbart, who went the other way. Here's Patrick Sundstrom. Can't come up with a puck, and Brent Ashton does. Ashton, number 7, starts out for the Jets. Housley breaking down the right side, takes the pass. Kumpel goes for the net. Kumpel was held up enough by Driver so that he couldn't get to the puck, and Burke was able to stop a weak shot. Thomas Steen is a big loss for the Jets, out with a broken ankle. Randy Carlyle with a Charlie horse is out. Don Barber is a scratch tonight as Scott Arniel gets back in for Winnipeg. And the New Jersey Devils are out here without Slava Fedosov, who's had bronchial pneumonia and actually spent a day in the hospital. He may be back by this weekend. Maley is injured, so is Walt Podebny, Miles O'Connor, and Troy Crowder, the tough guy, is here but not dressed.
It wasn't a surprise to see Phil Housley rushing so early in the game. That is one of the problems right now that Bob Murdoch has, in fact, is that the players on his team think that scoring more goals is the way to, in fact, win more hockey games. He feels it's more defensively.
There's a shot right off the faceoff. Greg Paslowski took it, and he missed the net. And there's been a bit of that going on around Winnipeg. This team hasn't scored very much on this homestand. Freddie Olesen back for the puck. Tabaracci put it on the boards for Mark Osborne. The two former Maple Leafs are playing together. Ed Olczyk wearing number 16 carrying the puck. Osborne is number 12, his left winger. Greg Paslowski is the third member of this Winnipeg forward line. Playing against Peter Stastny. Zdeno Seeger, who's back to pick up the puck, number 33. The Czech rookie can't clear it. Mantha with a shot, and he snapped a good one that went wide of the net and bounced into the glove of Sean Burke.
But the Jets do want to get on the scoreboard first. Their problems as of late have been falling behind too early. Mo Mantha, who is a good offensive defenseman, rings a good one off right here. He was looking for that top corner, stick side. But Sean Burke was able to just deflect it off into the corner.
Mo Mantha is the captain with the co-captain Steen and Carlyle both out of the lineup. Great vote of confidence for a man who started his career here.
That's right. Mo Mantha wants everyone to know that just because Dave Ellett was traded, that does not mean the Fab Four has been broken up. It's just been replaced with Mo Mantha.
Well, the Fab Four here didn't quite last as long as the Beatles. And they haven't had a hit yet. Teppo Numminen back after the puck. It was stolen from him by Shanahan, whose centering pass was knocked away. Numminen, another fine rushing defenseman, number 27, shoots it. Burke the save, and the rebound goes to the corner. Paul McDermott was after it. Arniel with a centering pass, and McElwain shoveled it by an open net. And there's a scene typical of the Winnipeg Arena on this homestand.
And typical for McElwain this year. The pucks are not going in the net as easily for him as they did last season here.
McElwain, McDermott, and Arniel. McMagoo, the referee, knocked down. And the fans always seem to like that. Numminen and Sean Cronin playing defense for Winnipeg. Devils have changed on the fly. Their fourth line is out. Pat Conacher with Al Stewart, who takes a shot at Cronin. They may meet in closer quarters than that before this game is over. Doug Brown's the third member of this Jersey forward line. People were expecting a Cronin-Crowder confrontation tonight, but Crowder's not dressed. And if Cronin needs a partner, Al Stewart will probably accommodate.
Wouldn't be a problem at all for Stewart.
In the meantime, it'll be Donnelly and Stewart, and they'll get things started here with the first play of the night.
Well, Donnelly, I think, has been under a little pressure here, Jim, to play more aggressively. You know, when I was talking to Bob Murdoch before the game, mentioned some of the players on his own team that have admitted that they have been, well, I didn't say the word wimps, but that's what they've been referred to as here. Well, Donnelly was one of those players. He was mad at the way that teams have been coming in and manhandling the Winnipeg Jets. So you could almost expect he'd do something about it early.
Stewart antagonizing Donnelly a little more as they head for the penalty box, trying to get him to chase after him. It didn't work, and they'll continue their conversation in the penalty box, and we'll have our first NHL update of the night with Jim.
First stop is Madison Square Garden in New York, where the Rangers have only one win in their last 3 starts. This is a pretty goal by Bob Airy. Fine individual effort coming in from the right side. He fends off the defender and beats Mike Richter, who replaced John Van Beesbrook, to make it 6-2. Penguins running away from the Rangers in the second period. Jimmy?
Penguins need that, having lost 6 of their last 7 against the top team in their division. There's another member of the Patrick division who won't be disappointed with that result. He'd love to catch the Rangers and thinks he can.
Well, watch Donnelly when he comes around the boards. He sees Stewart coming all the way, and so he was up and ready for him. In fact, Donnelly was the one that was more prepared probably to fight than was Stewart.
Well, Crowder gets the marquee billing as the tough guy on the team, but Alan Stewart does more fighting.
Sure does.
But I guess until you beat Bob Probert, you don't get to be ranked a heavyweight, or people don't talk about you as much. An extra penalty goes to Donnelly, so the New Jersey Devils go to the power play early in the game. Instigating is the penalty to Donnelly. Instigating and fighting to Stewart. So it's a Jersey power play. The Jets had 2 power play goals scored against them last night by Vancouver. McLean, leading scorer on the Devils, with Muller and Stastny. Priber at the point with room, shoots it into a crowd, didn't get through. McLean's shot went off a skate and wide. Back to the point, Eric Weinrich with a shot, blocked in front of the net. And Phil Sykes, number 17, comes up with a puck and moves it out to Teppo Numminen. And the Jets will change up their penalty killers.
Watch on this power play. The Devils would like to work it more from the point when they get inside the Jets end zone and set it up. They tend to work it down deep too much as far as Cunniff is concerned.
Just over a minute to go in the penalty. The instigating minor being served by Pat Elliott. Still McLean, Muller, and Stastny up front. Driver and Weinrich on the points. Osborne shot, short-handed, blocked by Burke, and he clears the puck. 50 seconds to go in the penalty as the Devils try and come out. McLean with 6 power play goals as the Devils leader. He's on a 50-goal pace this season, and right now he's headed for the bench as the second unit comes on in this power play. Very late in it. First unit worked a minute and a half. No score in the game. 4 minutes and 20 seconds in from the Winnipeg Arena on the NHL tonight. Ken Danico fires the puck in. Sundstrom, John Morris in after it. Patrick Sundstrom into the corner. Shanahan to the point. Danico shoots, tip, off the post. Patrick Sundstrom tipped it off the post. Shanahan. Housley's all over him. John Morris back to the point. Danico late in the penalty, shoots it. Off the skate of Housley in front, and Tabaracci's out to clear it. Helenik's on the ice. The minor penalty to Donnelly has expired, and the teams are back at full and even strength. And the Devils are 0 for 1 in the power play. Here's Scott Arniel. Skating to center, knocked down, and he lost the puck. Laurie Boschman with a long shot and a weak one stopped by Tabaracci. Phil Housley winds it up in his own zone and starts to skate. Holds up at center to Arniel with McElwain sprinting through the middle, and the pass went by him. Tommy Alvaline is number 6 on the Jersey defense. Pat Conacher's long pass for Claude Lemieux. He's checked by Scott Arniel on the right wing, but dumps the puck in. Mo Mantha with Laurie Boschman in hot pursuit. Up the middle of Olczyk. The pace of this game picks up considerably. Oftentimes the games in Winnipeg are very quick with few stoppages, and that seems to be the case here tonight. Last night's game was 2 hours and 10 minutes long here. Vancouver won at 5-1. Kasatonov almost put it in his own net as he cleared the puck to the corner, and it hit another Devil and almost went in the Jersey goal.
Burke had to be quick there.
Osborne's in front of the net. Paslowski trying to get him the puck, and he can't. Alexei Kasatonov, who's playing without his partner of many years, Slava Fedosov tonight, got the puck down to the Winnipeg blue line. There's a two-line offside pass by the Jets. 13:43 left in the first. No score on Molson's NHL tonight. Peter Stastny's back out. The man on his right, number 33, you've heard called Dino and Zdeno, but he says his name is Zdeno Seeger. He's the rookie from Czechoslovakia who plays with Stastny, partly out of convenience for the coach, because Seeger can't speak English very well at all, and Stastny can communicate with him because they both speak Slovak.
Well, with that as a first name, more players are going to mess, or more people will mess that one up, Jim.
Here's Stastny with Seeger, and Cronin was back to make a nice defensive play on the 2-on-1. From the point, Lee Norwood with a blast, stopped by Tabaracci. Seeger pushed Cronin aside and came up with a puck, then lost his stick, and out come the Jets. Kumpel with Sykes and Ashton, 3-on-2 over the blue line. Ashton drop pass to Housley, shoots it. Loose puck in the creases, picked up by Burke.
End-to-end, both teams having chances. Boy, Seeger really bounced Cronin down the corner, didn't he? But then the Jets break right out. Now, Ashton gained the blue line here, and he had lots of time. Someone didn't pick up Housley. That someone, as far as John Cuniff is concerned, is Lee Norwood, so he won't be pleased with Norwood not picking up Housley in that slot.
Gary, I would think Murdoch liked that rush because the defenseman didn't lead it, but he joined it. Housley was the fourth man instead of the first man.
That's exactly what they're trying to work on. So often with this team, when you've got Freddie Olofsson and Housley, then they love to rush with the puck and they get caught in deep, and it really puts a lot of pressure then on the forwards to fall back, and too often there is miscommunication, and it's then referred to as bad defensive play.
Winnipeg Jets have outshot the Devils 7-2 in the game, but neither team has scored, although the Devils have had a power play opportunity. They really didn't get a chance at all of note. Here's a steal by McLean, moving in. 1-0 Devils.
Well, that was poor defensive play, though.
Number 19 for John McLean, who's on a 50-goal pace after a pair of 40-goal seasons.
Watch Freddie Olofsson. He wheels with the puck. Now he's going to lead the rush. Unfortunately, he's last man here. Everyone else was heading up with the play. McLean goes to his backhand initially, made just a great move on Tabaracci and wheeled to his forehand.
Unassisted by John McLean at 7:24.
Boy, it is ironic, isn't it, that no sooner had we talked about the problem the Jets are having with their defensemen leading the rush than Freddie Olofsson did exactly that, was last man and had the puck stripped from him, and no one else is back to help out.
They've really had a problem here in the homestand in the 3 games so far, as John McLean puts his 19th in the net to make it 1-0. The Jets have scored 5 goals in the 4 games, or in the 3 games in this homestand, 4 of them by defenseman. Eddie Olczyk is the only forward to score.
And it doesn't seem as though Freddie Olofsson or Phil Housley tonight are going to lay back either and play a little bit sounder defensive game and lead the offense with their passing. Instead, right from the very opening shift, Phil Housley went racing down the ice.
One to nothing Devils. Mo Mantha dumps the puck to the front of the net. Alexei Kasatonov dumps it right back out. Here's Pat Ellick, number 15. Holds up. Evans comes to join him. Kasatonov broke up the play. Danton Cole, the third Jet, in after the puck. And the Devils take over. They have Lemieux with Boschman in the middle. Boschman dumps the puck in. Sundstrom's the third member of the Devil forward line. They're in after the puck, forcing Mantha to put it around on the boards for Doug Evans. Evans, number 39, to Mantha, number 22. Up the middle, out of the reach of Danton Cole. Sundstrom's pass. Ends up on the stick of Greg Paslowski, number 28. His drop pass for Cole. Backhander towards the net, easily stopped by Tommy Alvaline. And he dumps the puck down the ice with 11:25 left in the first. The Devils lead 1-0 on McLean's 19th. Zdeno Seeger, number 33. Off the skate of Kirk Muller. And the Jets take over. Osborne to Olczyk. Paslowski back to Olczyk, number 16. Centering pass. The only man there was Stastny. And the Devils come out. Play broken up at center by Teppo Newman. Newman into Paslowski to Olczyk with Osborne over the blue line. Drivers back to get the puck. Up to Kirk Muller, and it's a Devil 3-on-2. But Seeger gave the puck back to Muller, who was covered.
It's a weird play.
Well, they've ended up with the puck again, so it worked. Seeger. Stastny. Back to Seeger. He's got a tough first name. Maybe we should just call him Bob.
I like Dino better. It was a lot easier.
Phil Housley. His shot was blocked. Mark Kumpel off the boards, got away from the check of Bob Seeger. That could stick, Greener. Let's go to Jim Van Horn.
Let's go to the Forum in Montreal, and as Greener would say, this is what I want all the little kids in the audience to watch. Right off the faceoff, Strudel to Keeney 1 times. It passed Peter Sidorkovich to tie the game at 1. And then it is Bobby Halik feeding the puck to Mikey Anderson. From the slot, he beats Patrick Waugh. That makes it 2-1 for Hartford over Montreal in the second period of play.
Another low-scoring Adams division game. The Devils out of the Patrick division are in quite a race. They're long ways back of Philadelphia and the Rangers, but they've got 3 games in hand on both of those teams, and they're playing pretty well right now.
But kind of wants them to improve their defensive game. He wants this to be a checking team, a hard-working, checking, defensive-minded team. They've got enough goals to score.
There's an icing call against the Devils. We've reached the midway mark in the first period with the Devils up 1-0.
I think Freddie Olofsson, when Davey Ellett was traded, Jim, for a spurt anyway, really felt the pressure, and he played some really good hockey. Now, not that Freddie Olofsson has been playing poorly by any means. A lot has been placed on the defense with this Jets team. But yet, when you look at the fact that they've had to do the scoring as well as leading the rush so many times, and I think they are pretty pleased with their defense overall. It's up front with their forwards that they really haven't been getting the finishing off from.
Morris and Ashton on the faceoff, and the Devils win the draw. Eric Weinrich up the boards for McLean, and he just tipped the puck down the ice. Ashton, Sykes, and Kumpel against McLean, Shanahan, and John Morris, the forward matchups. Here's Mark Kumpel over the blue line, couldn't get by Weinrich. Brendan Shanahan over the blue line, the drop to McLean is passed to Morris, and Ashton was back to pick up the puck. Ashton to Kumpel, tipped it but not out. Danico kept the puck in, and it's blasted down the ice by Mo Mantha. And it's an icing call against the Jets with 9:18 left in period number 1.
Well, so when you look at the Devils, they've got solid goaltending with Burke and Terreri. Terreri's almost been their home goaltender. Burke has been their road goaltender. And John kind of feels that they need to improve defensively. He feels that they've got 2 good solid offensive lines, 2 good checking lines, and if they overall create an image in this league to be that hard-working defensive team, he thinks that there's lots of possibilities for great things for the Devils, but they've got to become better defensively. They're only 14th in the NHL standings right now, defensively.
Too many 5-5 ties lately. But they do have the guns to get in a shootout if they have to. Alan Stewart has served his penalty. Centering pass got by Pat Conacher. Doug Brown's the 3rd member of the Jersey forward line against McElwain, Arneal, and McDermott of the Jets. McDermott barges in, gets the puck, passed it back to the point, and Housley almost overskated it. McDermott almost decapitated Alvaline, who's trying to retaliate. Puck comes to the front of the net, and this might start something. Albeline's a little angry, but he's not the kind of guy who usually starts scraps.
It was just a pretty good shoulder by McDermott that knocked Albeline off balance, and his helmet went flying.
Well, they'll applaud the aggressive play here because they haven't seen enough of it.
Oh, you got that right. Watch. McDermott just put the shoulder right into Albeline. Albeline went flying, and his helmet went for a roll. Lost his head there for a moment. You're right, though, Jim. That's exactly what the fans want to see, but more importantly, that's what Bob Murdoch wants to see with his team. They have got to show some signs of life.
Right now, they're 8 points back of their pace of last year, and you would think the way they played that they'd be further back, but December, January, and February were really the months when they took off last season. They were a 500 team at this time last year. Right now, they're a long ways from that. 8 under 500. Cole out of Michigan State University, where he played with the Miller brothers, Kip and Kevin, and Joe Murphy. Centerman number 24 won the draw. Donnelly's shot was blocked by Laurie Boschman. Doug Evans, number 39, trying to center, gets the puck out front. Lemieux trying to clear it. Can against Housley, who, playing from his defensive position, was already up at the faceoff dot by the time the puck came around the net. Burke out to play the puck. Rings it around on the boards. It hit Boschman. Cole keeps it in. Elena from behind the net, trying to wrap it around. Loose puck in front of the net is picked up by Patrick Sundstrom. Gains center ice and dumps the puck in. His mates are on a line change, at least one of them, Boschman. Sundstrom to Lemieux. His shot went wide of the net. Peter Stastny, number 26. Into the corner. Here's Gord Donnelly. And out come the Jets. Elena gains center, and he wants a line change, so dumps the puck in. Bruce Driver on pass up the middle, hopped right over Seager's stick, goes the length of the ice. Newman is back to touch it. Icing called against the Devils. 7:37 left in the first. It's 1-0 Devils on John McLean's 19th of the year. Of a homestand for the Jets, a spirited tie against Calgary, but they lost Thomas Steen, a loss to the North Stars, then a loss to Vancouver last night, and they trail New Jersey and Peter Stastny tonight. Stastny's 34, still on a 90-point pace.
Sure is. 26 assists. Excellent playmaker.
What a nice guy to talk to. Very well spoken in 5 different languages, I might add. Although I can only speak to him in 2, English and back.
Whenever he's done his career, he'll end up back in Quebec City, and I'm sure a part of the Nordiques organization. He's very well thought of there.
That's where his brother Marion is now, operating a small business. Anton is over in Switzerland playing now. Greg Paslowski with a long shot and a nice save by Sean Burke. Seager. Muller coming late. Held up and fell down, and Cronin almost ran into it.
That was just like bowling for Cronin. He went down, took 2 out.
Olczyk with a shot, a good hard wrist shot. Burke stopped that, and then the pass to the front of the net hit Burke as well. Back out at center. Zdeno Seager. Stastny. Drop pass to Seager. Can't quite get through to the goal. Olczyk back the other way, nobody with him, so he goes for a skate. Drops the puck off for Mantha and goes to the bench. 6.5 to go in the first. Devils 1, Jets nothing from Winnipeg. Mark Kumpel after the loose puck. Eric Weinrich. Out to center. Kumpel to Olesen. Here's Freddie Olesen leading the Jets charge. Now he dumps the puck in the corner and retreats to his defensive position. Brendan Shanahan stopped at the point by a pinching Mo Mantha. John Morris follows up. It's a 2-on-1. Weinrich is with him. Morris to Weinrich. He scores!
Well, I'm not so sure there shouldn't have been a penalty on that play, though, Jim, because Sykes got dumped. interference way back at the red line. Watch as this play breaks out. Once again, the defense caught. Now watch, Sykes right in the middle of your screen. He's going to get hauled down right there, and that creates the 2-on-1, and eventually the goal.
McLean hauled him down, or Sykes might have been able to keep Weinrich out of this play.
When Weinrich took that pass, he was on his forehand side. He had the glove side available to him by Tabaracci, and he never wasted any time.
And don't think for a moment that Phil Sykes didn't let Mick Magoo know of his displeasure, that there was no penalty call. He was right over to him. But still, the Devils have scored, and it's 2-0 New Jersey. Weinrich from Morris at 14:08. After a defenseman, Momantha, pinched at the blue line, kept the puck in, but not long enough. Shanahan was the man trying to come out against Mantha, and he gets the second assist on the goal by Weinrich. There's a chance for the Jets right in front. Couples after the loose puck. McElwain was there as well. McDermott with the puck now. Centering pass, and Alan Stewart comes up with it for New Jersey. He's with Brown and Conacher at center and dumps the puck in. Brown against Hausler. Stewart comes in. He's bumped from behind by Scott Arniel, and Dave McElwain, a great skater, comes back for the puck, although he just cruises out of his own zone now, letting some others carry the puck. Arniel has it now as McElwain heads for the bench. Donnelly to Danton Cole. Pass up the middle to Doug Evans. Trying to hit Elenick on the fly. It was tipped away. Down to 4.5 to go in the first. 2-0 New Jersey. Quiet in here, isn't it? Yep. Danton Cole in front. Elenick scores! That got him up.
Into the game. I think Danton Cole's going to be a good one. He's got pretty good instincts as to where other players are on the ice. He's also a pretty good plugger out there. He likes to go for that puck. Watch Danton Cole. He just wheels that puck right out to the front where he knew that Elenick was, because he had taken a look beforehand. And Elenick was also on his forehand side, very similar to the way that Weinrich scored his goal.
2-1 Devils. Elenick gets the Jets on the board. They've announced Cole and Evans with assists on Elenick's 10th at 15:47. Jets weren't able to score against Vancouver until the third period last night. Weren't able to get on the board in the first here. Here's Stastny though on a breakaway. Stopped by Tabaracci. Another shot is stopped. And the Devils almost erased the goal, and may still. Seeger to Stastny, scores!
Oh.
A beauty, and it's 3-1 Devils.
Boy, oh boy, did they gobble up the Jets in their own end zone. Seeger and Stastny just give and go. But watch Sean Cronin right here. He's not quite sure what to do. Now he does the wrong thing. He goes down, commits himself. That allowed Stastny to walk right around behind Cronin and then just take the pass. But a great give and go. Seeger could have shot the puck, he saw, and he waited for Tabaracci to come out, and that gave Stastny all that much more room to put it in behind him.
Don't forget, just before that, Stastny had a breakaway. That was stopped by Tabaracci. The rebound was stopped, and they still ended up 2-on-1 in front of the net and scored. Peter Stastny's 8th of the season at 16:14, 27 seconds after the goal by Pat Elenick.
Well, you know, the Jets just aren't this bad of a hockey club, but are they ever falling apart in their own end zone?
Ken Danico gets the second assist on Jersey's third goal. It's 3-1 Devils. Here's Kirk Muller with Peter Stastny to the blue line. Muller holds up. Seager's coming late. The pass hit a skate. Seager to the inboards for Stastny, who's tied up by Freddie Olesen. Phil Sykes is back to collect the puck. Sykes ahead to Brent Ashton, number 7. Kumpel's with him on the right side as Ashton goes in on the defense and is stood up nicely by Eric Weinrich. Seager back for the puck to Weinrich. Drafted out of Massachusetts High School by the Devils in '85. He dumps the puck in. John Morris in after it. Phil Housley, another high school draft by the Buffalo Sabres, to Sykes. Cassatonov back for the puck. McElwain tripped up. The fans want a penalty and won't get one from McMagoo. John McLean stepped around Arneal. Cassatonov blasted one and a nice save by Rick Tabaracci. Centering pass by Shanahan. Another shot wide of the net by Cassatonov. And the Devils have really come on in the second half of this period. They've taken a 3-1 lead and now are all over a ragged-looking Jets team. McDermott with the puck. McElwain's in front. Pass in the air, and McElwain couldn't knock it out because Sean Burke knocked it down. John McLean with Morris and Shanahan. McLean goes to the slot. Morris in front of the net. Shanahan was tied up. Cassatonov to the front of the net. Is this a power play? Looks like it. Best thing that could have happened to the Jets. We got the puck off the ice. We'll be back to Winnipeg after this.
Hartford Whalers have really dominated the Canadians at the Forum tonight. Watch this goal. That's number 12, Dean Everson with the puck. He finally throws it out in front. Kevin Dunedin's left all alone in front of Patrick Roy for the goal, his second of the night. Makes it 3-2 in the second period.
Good night for the road teams. A couple from the Patrick division doing pretty well, including the New Jersey Devils here leading 3-1. Jets have really started to look disorganized, and here come the Devils again. A Brown with a pass that almost got through to Alan Stewart. He goes in and hits Teppo Numminen. Pat Ellenuk back for the puck and fishes it loose. Minute and a half left in the first period here. John Wells will be along in our first intermission. Mike Riley, the head coach of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, but first there'll be a penalty here against the Devils as Doug Evans was upset. Driver got a slashing penalty on Doug Evans, probably because he was the guy who got caught, Gary.
Well, Doug Evans plays that way. They were chippy right there. Evans gave him a hack, and Driver returned the hack, and that's the one that the referee saw.
Jets are on a power play, trailing 3-1. Denton Cole has the puck to Pat Ellenuk. Olesen at the point. Housley's on the other side. Olczyk screening in front. Olesen faked the shot. Over to Housley. Takes the shot. Blocked by Danico as it caught up in his sweater. This power play should be very good with the good point men that they have. A couple of scorers up front.
Well, it's 6th best in the NHL. Specialty teams haven't been a major problem for the Winnipeg Jets. As far as killing it, well, the New Jersey Devils need to improve in that area. They're right in the middle of the pack with both of their specialty teams.
Winnipeg's power play has given up 7 shorthanded goals, though, to lead the league.
2 of them to Joe Nieuwendyk the other night against Calgary.
Bill Housley leads the team with 5 power play goals. Ellenuk has the same number. Ed Olczyk. Trent Olesen blasts one. Screen shot that's knocked down by Sean Burke. And Laurie Boschman comes up with the puck for New Jersey. Patrick Sundstrom, who slowly goes up the ice, killing the penalty. Danico and Cassatonov.
2 Jets on Sundstrom, and he still ends up with possession of the puck.
Cole, Ellenuk, and Olczyk move in after the puck and are sent back into their own zone in the last minute of the period and the power play that will likely now carry over into the second with only 10 seconds to go in this first period. The seconds tick away, and there'll be 39 seconds left in the penalty to Driver as the second period begins, but Well, the Devils won't be too upset about that because they'll go to the intermission with a 3-1 lead thanks to goals by Stastny, Weinrich, and McLean. Hellenic replying for Winnipeg in Winnipeg. The coach of the Bombers. As these teams get ready to start the second, a big week in the National Hockey League. The whole league may change based on the decisions made this week in Florida. Gary, you got a gut feeling what's going to happen down there this week?
Absolutely none. And I'm not so sure that the 21 governors going to the meetings, Jim, know themselves. They may know themselves as to what's going to happen as far as their own vote, but when you get the 21 of them together, anything can happen.
Okay, let me ask you this. What would you like to see happen?
I'd really like to see a team in Florida, and that's not selfish reasons, or I might get a home game, but I really think that if the league is going to become a whole national league and truly a North American league, they've got to have some more Southern League teams. But of course, all Canadians would like to see another team in Canada.
Second period here is underway with Ed Olczyk carrying the puck into the power play. Housley. Olsson's blast, a good hard one that went wide of the net. Housley back at the right point now. Screening in front is Paul McDermott as the puck goes to Pat Hellenic. McDermott now to the point. Olsson moves in for it. Late in this power play, Olsson gave the puck away to Pat Conacher. And number 32, Conacher, dumped the puck down the ice. And it's given away again to Doug Brown by Freddie Olsson. And the penalty's over. Drivers back on the ice. The Jets are 0 for 1 with a man advantage, trailing 3-1 in the game. To the front of the net, McDermott couldn't tip the puck in front of Sean Burke. And the Devils clear it down the ice. They're playing Boschman, Sundstrom, and Claude Lemieux, who's just come onto the ice together. And the Jets are about to change up their forward unit as Lee Norwood is back for the puck. Boschman played only 2 games in the playoffs for the Jets last season. It became evident he was going to be traded. He dumped the puck down the ice, and there's an icing call against the Devils and a chance for us to update that Pittsburgh Ranger game.
I think this is a night that the Rangers would really like to forget very, very quickly. Early in the third period of play, the Penguins come out flying, and guess who sets up Phil Bourque but none other than John Cullen. Second of the night for Bourque, his 8th of the season, and now it's 8-4, the Rangers trailing the Pittsburgh Penguins early in the third period. It's not over yet.
So it seems the 2 frontrunners, Chicago and the Rangers, are starting to come back to the pack.
Sure haven't played well in the last week especially, have they?
Chicago lost 2 in a row to Detroit. Many thanks to Bob Probert. The Red Wings will really miss him for a month because he's been playing extremely well. Seager got the puck out by Sean Cronin.
It wasn't pretty, but Cronin pinched.
Almost hurt himself on it, too, as he smashed and crashed against the boards. Vasilevsky bumped into by the other number 28, Lee Norwood. Sent the Jets back to center. Seager picks up a loose puck to Stastny. His shot was deflected by Cronin into the seats. A minute and 43 seconds into the second period.
Well, the Devils are playing well, and I think it started as far as John Cuniff believes. I shouldn't say started, but what their game against St. Louis, that they won 4-1, Jim, that he felt that they did everything right. Like, they played well defensively. They got the goals that they needed to win that hockey game up against what they really wanted to mark themselves against, a pretty good hockey club in the St. Louis Blues. And it's carried over into tonight's game.
Devils have a big string of games coming up on a homestand. When they go home from here, they play Vancouver and then 4 straight against Patrick Division teams. They're playing pretty well now. They'd like to be then and make up some ground in that division. Dave McElway. Gord Donnelly. Slowly the Jets move up. McLean was there to intercept the pass. Morris is in front. The pass picked off by Tabaracci, and he pounces on the loose puck. Another turnover coming out of their own zone, and almost another goal for the Devils.
Well, Bob Murdoch continues to be a really positive coach, but how long can you be positive when you keep giving up the puck as easily as the Jets have? McDermott ends up outside the blue line when he was waiting, in fact, to get that puck just chipped up to him. And that created a 2-on-1.
Donnelly was carrying the puck. What should he have done with 4 players right along the boards?
Well, Donnelly could have, first of all, reversed the flow and gone back where the Devils weren't, and that was all the way around to the opposite end zone. But so often, you'll see a player like Donnelly who has got to go to the boards, ring it around the glass, and he looks to the traffic instead of doing what a smart defenseman will do, and that is to do the opposite as to what everyone thinks you're going to do.
Doug Evans dumps the puck in for Winnipeg. Tommy Albalee gave it right back to Evans. He's checked by Kasatonov. Danton Cole keeps the puck in, but only for a second. Alexei Kasatonov, number 7, carries the puck for New Jersey. Doug Brown was pushed offside by Danton Cole. We'll take a short break with the Devils leading 3-1 on Molson's NHL Tonight. Welcome back to the NHL Tonight from the Winnipeg Arena. I'm Jim Houston along with Gary Green and John Wells. Jim Van Horn is monitoring the other 2 games in the NHL tonight and bringing us right up to date. We watched the Devils in front of the Jets 3-1 here, the early stages of period number 2. There's Brown with a shot, and that hit the shoulder of Tabarachi, down and sliding across the net. And the Devils almost converted another turnover. Good tackle there on the 25-yard line by Conacher on Elenick as the whistle sounded to stop the play.
Oh, Riley would have liked that one, wouldn't
Yeah, Mike would have really liked that one.
Well, this is the Devils' checking line, and yet they end up with scoring opportunities, as they will because of their hard work. Doug Brown and Conacher have been playing together, and I think what they had said strikes so true to some of the older players that have been up and down from the minor leagues, is that enthusiasm and knowledge can overcome age.
The other checking line has got a little more age on it with Patrick Sundstrom and Laurie Boschman, and they're out on the ice now, and I think John Cuniff would like this line to be able to check, and in checking create some opportunities, but they also have some finish. And Sundstrom and Boschman, to a lesser extent, and Claude Lemieux, so that when the chances come that checkers create, they can put them away.
Is it ever nice, though, Jim, to go on the road and be able to have confidence in 4 lines?
The Devils are still doing some tinkering, though. This is not necessarily a set lineup. These are pretty new lines once again. Went together for a 4-1 win in St. Louis and naturally stayed together tonight. Given the way they played tonight, they may stay together for a while. Claude Lemieux dumps the puck in. Sundstrom's after it. Kumpel there first. Newmanen got the puck to Brent Ashton. Ashton, who struggled to score goals and has only 2, dumps the puck in. Kumpel checked by Sundstrom, who's all the way back in a hurry. Boschman was way back to collect the puck to Driver, and his pass was out of the reach of Claude Lemieux. Lemieux looked back as though in disgust at Driver's pass, and they both head off to the bench.
Cronin was under a little bit of criticism a couple of weeks ago for not being, well, the old Cronin the Barbarian that he was known as last year, duking it out with a few of the opposition. He instead has tried to become a more well-rounded defenseman because he feels that that is what will give him longevity in the league, not just using his dukes. Can't blame a player for that. On the other hand, the Jets really needed someone to go a little crazy out there now and then and to give some of the better skilled players some more open ice.
Make them feel a little bigger.
Exactly.
Terry Simpson was doing the coaching there with Sean Cronin on the bench. There's a pass up the middle to Kirk Muller with Gord Donnelly back, Paslowski back as well. A pass through to Stastny, almost got up to his stick. Tabarachi holds on with Zdeno Seeger right in front of the net.
Tabarachi played well during training camp and was probably a little upset that he ended up getting sent down, but he did have a problem with his wrist and so wasn't able to come to the call when he was summoned on 2 occasions by Bob Murdoch, and so found himself going down to the American League, but has worked himself back up.
Goalie picked up from Pittsburgh. There's a blast from Weinrich off the base of the post. What a hard shot. Got by Tabarachi and went off the post. Very nearly 4-1 Devils. Paslowski's after the puck. He's with Osborne and Olczyk moving in for Winnipeg. Seeger Long pass for Stastny. Muller will chase it. Tabarachi plays it up to Olczyk. 3-on-2. The Jets through center. Olczyk to Osborne. The drop pass, and Seager got it. To Stastny. Muller's trailing on the play. Stastny holds on. Muller fell down as Stastny tried to get him to play. Into the corner now. Stastny lost the puck to Mantha. Osborne to Housley, and he almost lost it to Seager at his blue line. Seager gets the puck at center. Devils at the end of a long shift. Just over 5 minutes into the second period. New Jersey leading Winnipeg 3-1. Greg Paslowski. Osborne's blast. Burke made an easy save. Shot wasn't as hard as Mark would have liked it. He's at the end of a long shift and heads for the bench. Mo Mantha dumped the puck in on a pass, and McElwain was just offside. Stay tuned following the game tonight for our TSN Turning Point, brought to you this evening by Firestone. Devils built the 3-1 lead in the first period, and that's the way it stands now. Turning point right now might well be Stastny's goal 27 seconds after Elnuck had scored to get Winnipeg back in the game.
Well, John Morris made a pretty nice play as well to set up Weinrich.
Are you saying that's the turning point instead of what I said it was?
Just offering another alternative, Jim.
As usual. McElwain shoots and scores. And the Jets are back in this one again.
Maybe we can add one more, Jim. Maybe that will be the turning point.
Might be.
McElwain from the slot. Now watch, as Mantha sets it up. Made a nice move there. Didn't get through, but still kept plugging away. For that puck, McElwain came in, just picked up the loose puck after about 4 Devils were looking around at the puck, not knowing who should go after it.
McElwain from Mantha at 5:30, and it's 3-2. Jets have cut the lead to 1 for the second time. There's a shot, though, by Alan Stewart. And the Devils come right back after a Jet goal and almost built that 2-goal lead once again. Tabarachi made a save on Stewart.
When you're trying to build a good hockey club, it's so important to teach them that if you get scored on, that next shift is so important, so that you come right back out and try to keep the puck into the team that just scored its end zone, and that's exactly what the Devils did.
McElwain's 8th from Mantha at 5:30. Now, the good news for the Jets is that 2 forwards have scored goals in this game. And they're right back in it. Conacher and Evans won the draw for Winnipeg. Teppo Numminen up the middle to Pat Elliott, to Doug Evans, tipped away from him by Bruce Driver. Centering pass went off the side of the net. Alan Stewart comes up with the puck. Stewart with Conacher and Brown through center. Stewart cuts to the middle, lost control. Numminen takes over and starts out for Winnipeg. Cut by Brown, lost the puck. Winnipeg still has it at center. Cole gave the puck away to Bruce Driver. His pass on the right side. Brown shoots, scores! They've done it again. Right after a Winnipeg goal, built a 2-goal lead. 4-2 New Jersey.
Well, a couple of mistakes here by the Jets. First of all, in the giveaway, watch this one. Not a great dump-in pass. Now, as Driver feeds that pass across to Brown, you see where Sean Cronin was positioned? He was way over into the middle of the ice, which just opened up all of that room for Brown to be able to walk right in and get a great shot away.
Brown from Driver at 6:20, 50 seconds after McElwain's goal. In the first period, it took 27 seconds after a Winnipeg goal for the Devils to respond. In the second period, 50. And it's Jersey 4, Jets 2. Here's Claude Lemieux. Long shot on Tabarachi. Lemieux's in after it again. Housley can't quite handle him. Claude Lemieux spins around. Big crowd in front of the net. Lemieux just dumps the puck around to the boards. Eric Weinrich in after. Sykes got to Weinrich. Lemieux's tough to handle for Housley. Weinrich is after the puck. In behind the net. Maury Boschman. Sundstrom trying to get open in front. Lemieux shot it wide. He was open. Didn't get much of a shot away though. Another good shift for the Devils. Sundstrom, Boschman, and Lemieux this time. Brent Ashton plays the puck back to Donnelly. Ashton. Now here's Peter Stastny. Kirk Muller trailing on the play. Centering pass. Almost knocked in the net as Tommy Albaline hit the stick of Greg Paslowski. Another giveaway and another shot on goal. And Tabaracci flew out to knock that puck away. Turnover after turnover coming out of their own zone by the Jets tonight. Here's Greg Paslowski to Mark Osborne. Osborne again trying to center it. Can't do it against Albaline. Now to Stastny up the boards. Paslowski keeps it in though. His centering pass hit Kasatonov in front. And Albaline, number 6, takes over. Zdeno Seeger. Lost the puck in front. Olczyk shot, and he scooped it right over the glass. The old rinks on the prairies, they'd say he hit the queen.
Watch Cronin here. He's got his head down. He's trying to come back. All right, let it roll from there. Now he totally got caught turning. Stop it right there. By the time that he came across to Brown, Brown had already taken the shot, and Tabaracci was way out to cut down the angle, but didn't cut it down well enough. Cronin got caught turning. He was flat-footed, and he's not the most mobile defenseman in the first place.
That was the Devils' 4th goal at 6:20 of the second period, 50 seconds after Dave McElwain's. And now it's 4-2 New Jersey. Paul McDermott just got away from McLean, but not with the puck. John Morris played for the Lowell University Chiefs as number 20, centering this line. Long blast by Driver, a good one just wide. Morris to McLean. His pass to Shanahan was too hard for Brendan to handle. Now McElwain coming back. Dumps the puck in for Winnipeg and heads for the bench. Arneal was tripped up, but the fans don't like that. Devils have the puck and come out though. Nice pass to McLean. Long blast, stopped by Tabaracci. Nearing the midway mark, second period, New Jersey 4, Winnipeg 2. Phil Housley stops. Turns away from Weinrich. McElwain's in front. Housley behind the net. In front to Elnuck. It's in his skates, and here's a 2-on-1 for the Devils. McLean and Shanahan both look tired. Shanahan got past the blast, blocked. The rebound is stopped by Tabaracci as Danico, the trailer, got 2 great chances, and Tabaracci stopped him.
Well, just a perfect example again of the Jets getting caught in deep. Phil Housley had the puck forever, Jim. But forever didn't create a scoring chance. Watch, he just hangs on to it. When he threw it out, Elnuck couldn't handle it, and no forward was back covering up for him. So it was a 2-on-1 situation for the Devils that became a 3-on-2, and that's where they got their scoring chance. If Housley's going to stay in, as he does so often, then the forwards have got to realize that they've got to come back. But how much signal and time do you need to realize that Housley was down in deep?
Elnuck showed some good hustle in getting back, at least to take McLean out of the play. But nobody got the trailer. And Ken Danico had been down in front of his own net as well as those Jet players.
It seems so simple as just to say, well, look, if the defenseman's in deep, then, in fact, somebody's got to stay back.
Pittsburgh Penguins are having quite a night at Madison Square Garden in New York tonight, especially Phil Bourque, who takes this pass from number 9, Tony Tandy, and he is going to snap it by Mike Richter. That is his 3rd goal. First career hat trick for Bourque. He now has 9 on the season. More importantly, it's 9-4. Penguins running away from the Rangers.
What a turnaround for the Penguins, who'd lost 6 of their last 7. We'll have a good look at them, including the option line on Friday night when we see them up against the hard-working Vancouver Canucks in Pittsburgh. For that, we'll show you a Thursday night game, between the Minnesota North Stars and the Toronto Maple Leafs. We'll also play Wednesday night in Toronto. Meantime, on Monday night in Winnipeg, it's the Devils leading 4-2. Freddie Olesen up the middle to Cole, who is poke-checked. Momanthus to Candle into traffic, lost the puck. Doug Brown, checked by Pat Elliott. And Danton Cole gets the puck. His nice pass goes through to Elliott. Back to Olesen. Spins around. Mantha at the point. Olesen, drop pass for Cole. Screen shot. Kicked out and a nice save by Sean Burke. Back the other way come the Devils. Pat Conacher over the blue line. Leaves the puck for Stewart. Missed it by a mile. Brown in behind the net. Cole cleared it but not out. Brown just knocked the puck down and kept it in, and Jersey changes on the fly. Past the midway mark, 2nd period. Devils 4, Jets 2. Olesen to Cole. Wings the puck in around in the glass, and the Jets change up on the fly. Tommy Alvaline to center. Boschman to Sundstrom. He dumps the puck in for New Jersey. Brent Ashton to Mark Kumpel. Teppo Newman up leading the rush now. Phil Sykes on the left wing. The puck was swept away from him. Dumped to center. Cronin was beaten to the puck by Boschman, who was then hit by Phil Sykes. Forward covered up there and put his shoulder into Boschman. They might be lucky that wasn't Sundstrom or Brown, or a little better skater than Laurie Boschman breaking away at center. Newman. Kumpel circles back in the corner. So does Mark Osborne. Newman starts out. Dumps the puck right in on Sean Burke. Lee Norwood is back to play. Devils were looking for a more aggressive defenseman with some experience. That's why they went after Norwood, giving up a 5th center in Paul Yzerman. Stastny. The Seager. His drop pass went to Eddie Olczyk, who couldn't clear it out by the referee, and the Devils have it. Muller with a shot that's blocked. Another shot, a weak one. Loose puck is picked up by Greg Paslowski. Out come the Jets. Osborne to Paslowski with Olczyk coming in with it. Weak shot as Paslowski was knocked down, was stopped by Sean Burke. Muller races to the puck. Seager's alone up at center. Nice pass onto his stick. And Seager has to spin away from Donnelly. Stastny comes in after the puck. In behind the net to Muller. Centering pass for Driver was deflected up in the air. Olczyk threads the needle for Housley. Breaking in. He scores! Beauty.
Well, I think just as Danico thought that he was over far enough to cut off Phil Housley streaking down that left wing, such wasn't the case. That pass got through from Olczyk to Housley. Now watch Housley. Protected that puck. Burke thought he was going to pull it, so he went down, committed himself, and Housley just made a beautiful move by chipping it over top of Burke.
Olczyk made a great pass. Housley knocked it down, put it upstairs, and it's 4-3 for the Devils. Well, let's see if the Devils answer again. Every time Winnipeg is close to within 1, the Devils have answered with another quickly. Housley from Olczyk at 12:58 to scoring play. Each time the Jets have closed to within one, the Devils have scored once within 27 seconds. Now here's McDermott and Shanahan squaring off to fight. Break it up now.
Those two threw some wicked punches.
And a lot of them.
He'll be tired.
You're watching Molson's NHL Tonight from the Winnipeg Arena. Winnipeg is closed to within one, and there's been the second fight of the night. This one, Shanahan and McDermott.
Let's see how it starts. Shanahan goes in to the boards with McDermott. I think McDermott ruffled up his hair, didn't he? The play had already been way back in the neutral zone, and both of those boys decided they wanted to go at it.
McDermott with that glove in his hand, then just threw it right in Shanahan's face.
Shanahan had trouble getting his helmet on.
Here's Eric Weinrich to the front of the net, almost to the goal line and over. The Devils have almost made it a 2-goal lead again. Oh, so close for Weinrich. Danico through a check at center ice. Olesen bounces up through the middle, gets the puck over the blue line to Dave McElwain. Pulled down, and there'll be a penalty to John Morris for hooking down Dave McElwain. And after almost scoring the goal, the Devils will be shorthanded. The Jets go to the power play, try to tie this up. John Cunniff's team had answered very quickly. Last two times Winnipeg closed within one, almost did it a third time right here.
Tabaracci's lucky on this one. He let it get through.
And there's the penalty on John Morris for hauling down Dave McElwain. A hooking call.
John Morris has done such a good job all night long coming back and checking, coming deep into his zone, but that was a bad penalty on his part.
Second power play opportunity for the Jets of the night. They're 0 for 1.
Why did Brendan Shanahan try to take his helmet off in that fight? That's the first time I've seen a player do that. Leave it on. Let him hurt his knuckles.
You'll probably think better of it after that one. Best power play in the league, surprisingly, right now belongs to Washington. Taken over as number 1. The worst is still Montreal's. And the Jets have one here that ranks 6th.
Driver just waited, anticipated, saw exactly what Housley was going to do, picked off the puck, threw her down.
Newman and Olczyk. Mark Osborne with Pat Elliott moving into this power play as well. Newman and Housley man the points. Housley at the left point. Osborne behind the net. Now Olczyk takes it. Olczyk to Osborne. Newman. Housley. Couldn't handle it. Now he's got the puck in front of the net. Tipped right into the glove of Burke.
Nice deflection by Olczyk. It's too bad the guy in the nets for the Devils covers an awful lot of room when he goes down.
Housley leads the team in power play goals and in points, as you might expect. They'll miss Thomas Steen. Olczyk brings 10 power play points over.
Eddie Olczyk is very good with his stick in front of the net, and he likes to position himself right here. See how he just deflected that puck right between his legs that Sean Burke was waiting for.
Now Housley and Sundstrom move in to take a face-off. Housley won the draw to the point. Freddie Olesen with some room. Stopped by Burke. Olsen again at the point. Blasts a shot. Hit the leg of Boschman. Ashton couldn't come up with a puck. Boschman off the boards and down the ice. Down to 35 seconds left in the penalty against New Jersey's John Morris. Brent Ashton in with Osborne and Paslowski. Brings the puck around behind the net. Paslowski to the point to Olsen. Housley on the other side. Olsen faked the shot. Housley. Olsen shoots it. Whistled it just wide. Paslowski blindly passed it to Olsen and missed it. Late stages of the penalty, less than 10 seconds to go in it. Now down to 5. Morris getting set to come back on the ice. Housley dumps the puck in. Morris is back on the ice. Sykes is in after the puck. Ashton behind the net. Paslowski can't hold onto it. John McLean opened the scoring in the game. Passes the puck for Muller. Bounced it right by him. Cronin shoots it back in for Winnipeg. Jets trailed by 1, 4-3 to New Jersey. Been a good pace to this game and some pretty goals.
Two pretty good, hard-working teams, especially the New Jersey Devils. But again, as Bob Murdoch said, his team's working hard, getting the same satisfaction for us.
Ken Danico up to John McLean with Morris and Muller. Some line juggling now with Shanahan serving a major penalty. McLean, Stewart in front of the net. McLean couldn't get him the puck. Sykes at the end of a shift dumped the puck down the ice so he could get a change. Lee Norwood to Alan Stewart. Makes a nice move away from McElwain. Dumped the puck through the middle. Brown pursues Freddie Olsen. His pass out of the reach of Scott Arniel drifts all the way down the ice. Norwood's back to get it. 2:45 left in the second period. Morris. Stewart. Bumped by Arniel as the Jets come up with the puck. Momantha leading the rush through to center. Just offside. McElwain couldn't have been much more than an inch or two offside, but he was indeed. And that stops the play. 2:28 until our second intermission, when John McLean will be along in conversation with our John Wells. An update on the massacre at Madison Square and the game at the Montreal Forum as well from Jim Van Horn. And on Vantage Point tonight, Gary Green and I will take a look at some of the problems the Winnipeg Jets have faced in changing personnel and not getting the production from the forwards that they had hoped.
Well, the Devils don't have that problem. They were expecting to get another consistent effort out of John McLean this year, and he hasn't disappointed them the least bit.
Here's Peter Stastny. Trying to jump away from Teppo Newman and almost did it. Back the other way comes Olczyk with Osborne trailing. Olczyk has a look around. Back pass for Paslowski. Has to chase it. Cronin centering pass, and Danico's there to knock the puck away. Can't clear it by Newman, whose shot is tipped. Danico knocks it down. Up the boards for Kirk Muller. To Stastny. He couldn't hold the pass. Under 2 minutes to play second period. Weinrich to Muller. Stopped by Sean Cronin. Olczyk off the boards to Paslowski and in for the Jets, and they'll change on the fly. Eric Weinrich. Zdeno Seeger checks it center. Mark Kumpel gets the puck, and he sends it back to Phil Housley. Gord Donnelly up the boards for Kumpel to an open wing, and Tommy Albaline is there for New Jersey. Boschman bumped Housley, letting the puck go in behind the net. Kumpel in front of his own net to Phil Housley, who starts the rush for Winnipeg. Dumps the puck into an open corner. Sykes on Claude Lemieux. Ashton barges in after the puck. Sykes went down and couldn't get it behind the net.
1 minute remaining in the second period.
Tommy Albaline fires the puck in off the inboards. Lemieux was going right after it, but in his haste to get there, went offside.
Lemieux was trying to get it first man on the puck, and Lemieux has had some real problems in trying to get back to the consistent game that he used to play in Montreal Canadiens uniform, where he would take the body, he would jump in there, create all types of opportunities. But he's coming, and John Cunningham sees some good signs.
He's missed a lot of action. Same can be said for a guy like Bob Probert, who missed a full season. Lemieux almost missed a full season, and you can't expect these athletes to whip right back into shape in 20 games. Take half a season for him to really get back in stride.
Well, timing is everything. You know, the interesting thing that John Cunningham said, too, that Lemieux has helped him out, is that he's not afraid to kind of say sometimes even the wrong things, but just speaks his mind, and he felt that their team was a little bit too quiet in that department, and so Lemieux has the abilities to rattle the ship.
Penalty coming up against the Devils with 45 seconds left in the second period. A high sticking call. Brendan Shanahan just out of the penalty box after a fight with Paul McDermott is heading right back in, but not without a few more words from McDermott.
Boy, Shanahan's sure got to burn his bonnet tonight, doesn't he?
New Jersey penalty to number 11, Brendan Shanahan.
High stick to Shanahan.
High sticking at 19 minutes 15 seconds. The Devils and Shanahan.
Shanahan got that stick on Mantha and a little too high. So they say.
At any rate, high sticking it is. So it'll be Olczyk, McDermott, and Elliott, with Olesen and Housley out on this power play unit, trying to tie the game up before the second period ends. McDermott parks himself in front of the net to set up the screen. Housley to Olczyk, shoots it off the post. Great shot, hit the post. Here's Olczyk again, taking the puck off the boards. Into Paul McDermott. Elliott behind the net. Puck hopped over his stick. Back in the point to Freddie Olesen. In behind the net, McDermott. Knocked down by Lee Norwood on top of the puck. And with 16 seconds to go in the period, play is stopped.
Boy, Norwood really took the legs right out from underneath the McDermott. Meanwhile, Eddie Olczyk let that puck go, and it rang right off the post. Watch this setup. Housley over to Olczyk. Boom, one times it. It hit the post or the crossbar. That puck was going so fast I couldn't even follow it. But Eddie Olczyk missed one earlier in this game that he won't forget. Or he might like to forget.
Scooped it right out of the park.
Went to the neat backhand. It might have worked had it even been within 40 feet of the net.
Olczyk and Boschman on the draw. Boschman was a good face-off man for Winnipeg last year. He's been doing a nice job for Jersey this year, although the Jets, I think, have done pretty well tonight. I don't know the stats, but they seem to have won their fair share of draws tonight. Boschman won that one cleanly from Olczyk. And they cleared the puck. Here's the importance of winning a face-off. Possession allowed them to kill the rest of this period. So another penalty carries over into the third period. 1:15 to go in the Shanahan penalty into the third. The Devils clinging to a one-goal lead. Stand by for John McLean at
20-19, favoring New Jersey. Heading to the third now, another carryover power play for Winnipeg. Jim?
minute 15 seconds to go in Brendan Shanahan's penalty, so the Jets still on the power play trying to tie it up. Further illustrating our point about the contribution of Winnipeg's defensemen. Of the 20 shots on goal for Winnipeg tonight, 8 of them, almost half, have come from the blue line and the point man. And not necessarily from the point, because they've moved in to get their shots and moved up on the play. So the Jets power play moves up. Olesen and Housley at the point. McDermott, Elliott, and Olczyk up front. Conacher and Brown, Norwood and Trimer killing the penalty. McDermott couldn't handle a hard pass on the boards, but he barges in after it and gets the puck to Ed Olczyk. Housley, Olesen just onside, back to Housley, lost the puck. Moved it over to Elliott. Back to Olesen, faked the shot, takes it and scores!
Well, the shot came from the point off the stick of Freddie Olesen, but was it deflected by Olczyk? He certainly loves standing there. Watches it set up. Now watch Olczyk. He's calling for that puck. He tipped it right between the legs of Sean Burke. Watch Olczyk from the corner. He's got that stick up. He's waving to Olsson that he wants it, and he got it.
He was also in the crease, but I think he might have skated through and been out by the time that he tipped the puck. Olczyk from Olsson, and it's a 4-4 tie. The Jets have fought back against the Devils. A power play goal early in the third.
Well, through it all, the Jets have had a good power play, and it came to their rescue tonight.
Olsson and Elner. And Kumpel has been knocked down and is slow to get up, and so the play is stopped.
He got hit over the head by Danico's stick as well.
And that's Phil Walker, the athletic therapist, the trainer that's out to help him out, which gives us a chance, as he insisted that we do, to say hi to the people back in Buckens, Newfoundland tonight. If you're still up, get to bed. You'll be late for work.
There's the hit. Now watch Danico's stick. It came as he was falling off balance. Danico, that is. His stick carelessly came right down and cracked Kumpel right over the head.
It wasn't Phil that went out to help him, but, well, you got the point.
And it wasn't the head of Kumpel that's hurting, it's his ankle, but he did get cracked over the head pretty good. I think when he went down and tried to squeeze through Danico, as he may have twisted his ankle.
Olczyk from Olsson, and Elenick at 1 minute into the third period of the scoring play. Kumpel's gone off to the dressing room, and they've added an assist to Mark Osborne on Winnipeg's third goal in the second period. Minute and a half into the third, and a 4-4 tie at the Winnipeg Arena. Dumped the puck down the ice. Weinrich back to touch it, and icing called against Winnipeg.
Well, the Devils weren't able to do what they've been able to accomplish this evening, and that is when the Jets scored, they came back with a very solid shift immediately after. Maybe the Jets have finally caught on to trying to keep them at least stalled after the Jets score that goal.
They've been down 2-0, 3-1, and 4-2 at different times in this game, and the Jets have fought back and played better as the game's gone on, and are now in a 4-4 tie at home with the Devils, trying to get a win on the homestand before they go off to play 2 in Los Angeles, Wednesday and Saturday, and that'll be tough. The Kings have only lost twice in 14 at home. Alexei Kasatonov to John Morris. McElway. Scott Arneal. Lost the puck to Shanahan at center, who dumps it in. Shanahan trying to get the puck to the point to Tommy Albaline. Here's John McLean. Backhand shot, a weak one, stopped by Rick Tabaracci. And he holds on. Ed Olczyk's 10th goal of the season has tied this game at 4-4, and we'll be back with more after this. Don Cherry's Grapevine returns to TSN at 8 o'clock on Thursday night, 8 o'clock Eastern. Lou Francischetti of the Maple Leafs will be the guest just before the Maple Leafs take on the Minnesota North Stars on TSN.
Well, the Leafs are starting to turn the ship around a little bit, Jim. Played fairly well in the last week.
Had a good road trip to the West Coast. I will reserve judgment till I see them do it a few more games in a row. Maple Leaf fans know as Driver shoots and it's tipped by Boschman. They've teased their fans before.
Yeah, a few times.
Claude Lemieux, his shot is blocked. Brent Ashton gets the puck. Dumps it to center. Donnelly jostling behind the plate with Boschman. There's going to be a penalty against Winnipeg. It'll be against Donnelly, and he wants to take Boschman with him now. His former teammate, Boschman, wisely turns away, and Donnelly will be ushered to the penalty box.
Donnelly had to be careful that he didn't pick up an additional 2. He went after Boschman and had his stick up high.
3:02, the time of the roughing penalty to Donnelly.
Watch how this started. Boschman is right in the crease, definitely interfering with Tabaracci, and that's when Donnelly came to Tabaracci's rescue and got Boschman out of there. So Boschman could have been given a penalty for interference. He was definitely standing right in the crease for no reason whatsoever. But how many times have we seen that called?
But then when he didn't touch Tabaracci until he was touched by Donnelly.
But it's not supposed to matter. He was standing right there in the crease. Almost on top of the goal line on Tabaracci.
Standing in the crease ever since they made the new, bigger crease. It's just an interference penalty that's very seldom called. And quite a few goals are scored with a guy standing there. Tabaracci stopped the Devils at the top of the crease there. Kirk Muller on this power play. Eric Weinrich. Side of the net, Teppo Numminen. There's Brent Ashton coming up. And he'll go for a skate and kill some time on the Donnelly penalty. 30 seconds gone in it. Weinrich came over and bumped Ashton hard. Peter Stastny, Kirk Muller, and John McLean with Bruce Driver and Eric Weinrich out on the Jersey power play. Up the middle, Driver cut off the clearing attempt. To the open side, and Weinrich moves up. Numminen got to the puck. Up the boards to Danton Cole. He goes up to Osborne. Here's a 2-on-1 shorthanded. Housley with Osborne. Housley in front. Osborne was poke checked off the side of the net by Danton Cole. Burke made a great poke check, and then Danton Cole followed up and almost scored the shorthanded goal. 45 seconds to go in the penalty as the Jets get the puck down the ice, and the crowd is finally alive with something to cheer about in the Winnipeg Arena. Brendan Shanahan off the boards, blindly, and McElwain shorthanded one-on-one. Went down with Danico checking him. Zdeno Seeger back to pick up the puck. Last rush on the power play. Shanahan into the slot. Norwood can't get a shot away. In the skates of Shanahan. Picked up by Scott Arneal. Donnelly set to come back on the ice. Penalty's over, and the Jets have killed it off. Devils are 0 for 2 with a man advantage tonight.
Should give Winnipeg some momentum now if they can keep it up.
John Morris sprints down the right wing, moving in on defenseman Teppo Numminen. In front of the net, Brown was tied up. Albaline with a blast. Tabaracci makes the save and stops the play as the action heats up in Winnipeg. 14:40 to play in the third. It's a 4-4 tie on Molson's NHL tonight. John Burke saved the day and got some help from the side of his net. A shorthanded 4-4 rush.
You're never quite sure what Phil Housley's going to do. He gambled in his own end zone just previous to this, but boy, he just took off. Here's the 2-on-1 chance. What a great play by Housley. He really made that pass as perfect as he could have. But there's, Jim, then lies the problem. Having forwards as well that can finish off.
Oh, yeah, but Burke made a nice play, though. The poke check. Maybe the forward who should have finished off was Danton Cole, though. Here we go. Cronin and Stewart.
Cronin says, next time, bring on Crowder. He really manhandled Stewart. That's the way I saw it. What are you giving me that look for? Obviously, Jim Houston doesn't agree with me. This is how it started. Cronin alone the boards. He obviously wanted to fight. He's just a very strong upper-bodied player.
One of the newspapers here made a big deal today showing a tale of the tape for Crowder and Cronin. And John kind of feeling that with Al Stewart in the lineup tonight, he can handle Cronin, and Crowder didn't have to play in this game. Or he handled him or not. I'll give Cronin the upper hand in it, but I didn't think he wailed on him, Greener.
I said manhandled him. I didn't mean wailing on him. That meant just throwing him viciously to the ice.
The mayor of Winnipeg has spoken here. You're a homer now.
Sorry, you're Stewart's promoter, are you? You and Don King?
Tabarachi out of his net, clears the puck. Pat Elenick. Freddie Olsen up at center. Passes the puck to Elenick. Shannon Cole's in front. Elenick fell in the corner. Now he's up and gets the puck. Back to the point. Olsen shoots. Sipped it just wide into a crowd. May have been tipped, and Mantha has the puck at center. Dumps it in for Winnipeg. Alexei Casatona. Ahead to Laurie Boschman as the Jets change on the fly. Boschman took a bump from Osborne at center as he dumped the puck in. Kozlowski. For Phil Housley, who starts out for Winnipeg. Head up, looks up for Olchek. He dumps it into the corner. Kozlowski in after. Norwood beat him to it. Osborne came in and got the puck. Olchek centering pass knocked away. And Lee Norwood pushed the puck out to center and gave Newman a little shot with a cross check. Bruce Driver. Now to Kirk Muller. Seeger with a shot. Newman got enough of that to make sure it went wide. Seeger trying to center the puck for Stastny. Osborne took it away. Housley ran into Stastny. The puck goes up in the air and out of play with 12:46 left in the third period in a 4-4 tie.
You like Seeger out there tonight? I have. I thought that he's had some great give and goes, especially when he's out there with Stastny and in the offensive zone. Still looks at other times a little bit lost still, especially defensively.
Every once in a while in the traffic, he looks like he's not sure what to do, but that's pretty much what they've seen from him all season, and that's why they spot him game here, game there. He hasn't played regularly all year.
John kind of said before tonight's game that his biggest problem, the whole team's problem, is making sure that they play as a team and pulling them together. He has a real international group of players here, and he wants to make sure that they are very unified.
It must be hard to do because we've got all the different languages as John Morris takes the puck. Shanahan goes for the net. Tabarachi came out and made the save, but McElwain did a nice job catching up to Shanahan.
And Olsen just put Shanahan down flat on his back, right in front of Magoo.
Crashing in the corner. Danico checked from behind now by McElwain. Weinrich rushes over but can't get the puck. McElwain trying to center. Drifts to the front of the net. Loose puck is poked away now, and Morris comes up with it. Morris with Shanahan and McLean to center. Shanahan really being worked over by Arneal. McLean to Kasatonov to the front of the net. Tabarachi got a little piece of that as Shanahan was in front again. Kasatonov takes Ashton to the board. Albeline back to the puck. 8.5 minutes into the third period in a 4-4 tie. The Jets tied it up here in the third on Olchek's power play goal a minute in. Ashton to Kumpel. Back after being out for a couple of shifts. Housley blasts one. Burke makes the save. Back comes Pat Conacher, number 32. Brown trailing on the play. Muller goes for the net. Sykes takes his man and knocks him down. Conacher's up again after the puck. Sykes is on him again, but Conacher slips away. Donnelly finally knocks Conacher down. Muller throws a hit at Kumpel. Much more physical third period in a fine hockey game now as the Jets are called for icing. We'll move from here to the Met Center in Minneapolis. Maybe we'll get in on one of those big $35,000 giveaways on Thursday night. The North Stars take on the Maple Leafs in the second game of a home-and-home series between those two teams. Then at 7:30 Eastern time on Friday night, the Vancouver Canucks visit the Pittsburgh Penguins, and we'll be along to show you that game as well.
I'm looking forward to going to Minnesota. Ron Francis just recently said that the only thing that they don't have in the Minnesota games is someone being shot out of a cannon through a hoop of fire.
Hey, what a good idea, folks. I got just the guy.
John Wells? Nah, we wouldn't do that, dude.
Laurie Boschman and Danton Cole to face off.
I don't think you were thinking of John Wells, were you?
No.
I didn't think so.
I'd just like to make sure you bring your sequin shorts to Minnesota.
Or why don't you add in a big hoop?
Boschman's waved out. Sundstrom's in against Cole. Cole won the draw. Olesen sends it to the boards, then dumps the puck to center. Driver to Lemieux. Evans around to Pat Allen. Up to Danton Cole. Olesen moves up on the play. Over the blue line, but Allen over on the right wing was offside. You raised the point about all of the different nationalities on the Devils. I think it's a good one. You're trying to pull a team together and unify the guys as a group. You've got 5 different languages on the team. Well, they're bound to go off in cliques because they can communicate with each other and not necessarily with everyone else.
That's right. Now, how do you coach a team when some players you know can't even understand you? When if they understand you, it's a little bit. In the case of Seager.
Yeah. Seager's the tough one right now. Kasatonov is probably second in terms of players who don't understand English, but he's got Fedosov there that helps him out, and John Cuniff says that Kasatonov's really not a problem on the bench, but he really relies on Peter Stastny to communicate with Seager on the bench right now. And the puck is up and out of play once again.
But because it's the game of hockey and what guys are like in the dressing room, then language may not be as big a barrier as we might make it out to be, because guys will end up joking with players that can't speak great English, but you can have the feeling there instead.
But when you're trying to teach, you have to communicate.
But that's when X's and O's and blackboards come in handy. And John Cuniff is a good teacher.
Each year he spends his off-season in Europe. This year he was over in Finland and watched the Soviet national team train for 16 practices, he said. He's watching very closely what they did and how they simulate game situations all the time.
It helped him understand how Fedosov and Kasatonov play.
Still having a tough time making them play the North American game, though.
Sure are. Just trying to get them to take the body. Kasatonov especially is so capable of just making that big checks and then getting back into the play.
Arneal with a nice pass to McElwain. Overskated and McDermott's up. The backhander is stopped by Burt. And he got a quick whistle with McElwain right in on it. Backhander by McElwain, and Burt stopped him.
Yeah, he made the stop, but then he didn't have the puck covered up. Watch. I thought, first of all, that puck, that McElwain shot was going right between the legs of Sean Burke. And it just squirted out from underneath. He's a big man. He ran into some difficulties with the New Jersey fans, but John Cuniff said they weren't all New Jersey fans. The problem in New Jersey is that so many of their fans that come to the games are from every place else. Connecticut's close by. When they play the Rangers, there's 10,000 Ranger fans in the Meadowlands. Islander fans come over.
They'll have a lot more of their own if they improve in the standings and continue to improve the way they have the past couple of seasons. Momantha for the Jets over the blue line, and again the Jets are offside. We've passed the midway mark of the third period. It's the Jets 4, the Devils 4 on Molson's NHL Tonight.
The official attendance for tonight's game is 11.
In Canada, when someone moves into a place of their own, a traditional gathering is held. It's called a housewarming. Molson Canadian. The clean, cold taste of a genuine Canadian beer. But beer's all about.
A lot of talk about the Maple Leafs on TSN this week. Darryl Sittler, former Maple Leaf great, is on It's Your Call with Pat Marsden tomorrow night. And then the Maple Leafs in person on Thursday night against the Minnesota North Stars. Here in Winnipeg in the NHL tonight, it's a 4-4 tie. The Jets and the Devils. Tommy Alvely, number 6. Up the boards for Seager. Couldn't get to the puck. Olesen keeps it in, but it hit the referee, Magoo, and out comes Seager. His pass to Alvely. Moving up with Stastny and Muller. The drop pass. Muller to Seager. Stopped by Craig Paslowski, and Osborne is back to scoop up the puck. Mark Osborne moving in on Alexei Kasatonov. To the end boards. Olczyk picks up the puck. Paslowski goes for the front of the net. The pass back for Osborne. He couldn't get it. Stastny tips the puck out to center. It's a 3-on-1. Kasatonov to Muller. His pass to Seager was behind him. Oh, they botched that up in a 4-4 tie. A glorious opportunity. Housley dumps the puck in for Winnipeg. Conacher got the puck to center, but no further. Kasatonov. His pass for Brown whistled right by him, and it's an icing call against New Jersey.
Ooh, that was pretty close for Winnipeg. The Devils have the abilities to all of a sudden come on. Now, why the Jets would right now be lax in their own end zone? That was almost like a play that they had a goal scored on them in the first period when Weinrich scored. This was a 3-on-1. The Jets guilty of pinching. Not necessarily guilty of pinching, but it's their coverage when they do pinch. Again, lack of communication between the defense and the forwards.
Muller didn't shoot the puck. I thought he had a great chance to. You know what's really strange about Kirk Muller's stats? He has 32 points, but only 7 on the road. He's the kind of player that usually be the other way around.
He's such a hard-working player and a good leader for this club. That is strange.
Alan Stewart. Dumped the puck in. Mark Kumpel back to pick it up. Kumpel slowly to center. Dumps the puck in as he's bumped by Driver. Lee Norwood is back to collect the puck. Down to 7.5 minutes left in the third period in a 4-4 tie in Winnipeg. Dumped down the ice and another icing call against New Jersey. And the pace slows a bit here midway through the third. Winnipeg Jets don't get a lot of penalties. In fact, they are the least penalized team in the league. Some people will call that lack of aggression. Others will call it just good, clean play and fast skating and the way hockey should be played. At the other end of the spectrum, the Chicago Blackhawks are the most penalized team, followed by Vancouver, Minnesota, and New Jersey ranks 4th in that department. Which team do you want?
I take the Chicago Blackhawks. I like the way they're playing, not necessarily in the last week, but they did recover yesterday.
You know why they're going to have trouble, I think, before this season's over? They don't have anybody who can handle Bob Probert.
Yeah, good point, but Manson should be able to, but he hasn't been playing great.
Is on a loose puck. Evans goes for the net. The pass was behind him. Back to pick up a man was Claude Lemieux, who is on Evans. And the puck is up and out of play with 7:02 left in the third.
Well, as the clock ticks down, the Jets will try to spring someone in the open, and that's what Olsson was trying to do with Elena. Boy, Elena took a good bop in the face as well right as soon as he had released that pass. But Olsson fed that puck nicely up to Pat Elena.
Teams are at even strength right now.
Jets need a win in here tonight. Time may sound all right, but they need the edge for their confidence alone.
Sundstrom won the draw from Evans. Kasatonov dumped the puck up the boards, and it's out of play once again. And the pace is slowed, and this would seem to favor New Jersey. Probably not as good a skating team as Winnipeg, and playing on the road. Maybe slow it down, play for the tie.
It's possible. Kasatonov, I don't know whether he's ever going to totally adjust to playing in the National Hockey League style, as we talked about earlier. Sometimes tonight he did take the body, and that's what Kunna's trying to get him to do. Other times he just peels off the man. Big difference in the sizes of the rings.
Mantha with a pass up to Evans, off the boards, just out of the reach of Pat Elena. Kasatonov down on the boards. Lemieux took his man, and the puck came all the way down into the Winnipeg zone. Mantha's the first man back. Olsson relays the puck up to Elena. Misfired on his pass attempt. Lemieux takes over, trying to get around Mantha. He can't do it. Boschman now with the puck. Ahead to Sundstrom. To Boschman, back to Sundstrom. Stopped by Tabaracci. Sundstrom again to the point. Abilene blasts it. I think that hit his own man, Sundstrom. Evans back to collect the puck. Boschman's right on it. Sundstrom just tripped up Danton Cole up by the blue line and got away with it. Mantha shoots the puck in. McDermott, the first man in. Burke holds on to the puck. Driver off the boards to John Morris with McLean and Shanahan. Morris centering pass, and McLean misfired, trying to one-time it. Norwood with a shot. Whistle one just wide. Driver moves into the right side, keeps the puck in for McLean. By him to Shanahan. Centering pass. McElwain tipped it to the boards. Paul McDermott over to get the puck, and he flips it through center where Housley's already stationed, and he knew he'd be offside if he touched the puck.
Just turned back.
5:25 to go in the third period in a 4-4 tie. Norwood hooked back by Scott Arneal. Down on the boards. McDermott goes over. Beats Shanahan to the puck. In behind the net. McElwain. McDermott with Arneal in front. Swept away by Bruce Driver, and out come the Devils. McLean. Stopped by Housley. Driver with the puck. To the front of the net. Tabaracci makes the save with Shanahan there and holds on. And a mugging in front of the net. McLean has a couple of Jets all over him, and Shanahan's into this. Everywhere Shanahan has been in this game, there's been a little trouble. He just had a black cloud hanging over his head in the Winnipeg Arena tonight. And again, there was more pushing and shoving in front. McLean got involved this time as well. 4:55 left in the third. You're watching Molson's NHL Tonight. Welcome back to Molson's NHL Tonight on the Sports Network TSN from the Winnipeg Arena. New Jersey Devils and the Winnipeg Jets in a 4-4 tie with 4:55 left in the third period. Stastny won a draw. Ken Danico takes the shot. Tabaracci makes the save, and Rick holds on, stopping play.
Place your name seated following tonight's game for the Molson Cup 3-star selection.
Trying to decide where the face-off is going to be right now.
It'll be to the right of Tabaracci.
Lots of juggling going on right now because Murdoch wants to make sure Peter Stastny is good on the draws. If he pulls this back right now, I think Cronin's got to make sure that he clears that net so that Tabaracci can see the puck.
Doug Evans charged with trying to beat Stastny on the draw. Stastny won it cleanly. Danico's shot, high and wide. And the Jets take possession. Osborne, rink wide to an open side, and Danico gets the puck. Ken Danico, Eric Weinrich. Jets trying to gain the blue line. They do with Olczyk on the left side. Weinrich is all over it. Goes down, the puck goes loose behind the net. The Devils are able to clear it. Teppo Numminen. Up the middle for Ed Olczyk. Osborne's on the left wing, and the puck is dumped into his corner. Casatona, first man back. Wings the puck around to the boards to center. Freddie Olesen. Over the blue line, and the Jets are just offside with 3:50 left in the third.
You know, Mike Smith may have been accused by a few people right now of maybe juggling the lineup a little bit too much this year after a good season last year and making trades that have, well, unsettled this team. But you know, you can't win, can you? Because if you stand pat, then, and the team had been this way, then Mike Smith would have been accused of knowing full well that you've got to make some changes to the lineup that he had last year. Tough job being a GM too.
A little safer, but tough nonetheless. Momantha for Bill Sykes. Ahead for Ashton. Checked by Alan Stewart. Olesen. That's an old-time play, isn't it? Everybody skates back at it, either overskates it or picks it up. To come from the days when the defenseman didn't move the puck and somebody had to come back and get it.
Maybe one of the safer ways to break out of your own end zone.
Numminen. Brown dumps the puck back in for New Jersey. Phil Housley, first man back. Boschman's in on him, and Newman's holding him up. Sundstrom in front. Lemieux's shot stopped by Tamaracci. Great chance for Lemieux to give the Devils a late lead in the third. Driver dumps the puck back in for New Jersey. Numminen. Off the glass. Lemieux can't find it. Boschman's got it in his skates. Double teamed. Magoo makes them play it. Lemieux comes up with the puck. Elenick holding him. Boschman tipped the puck to Sundstrom. Back pass is picked off by Housley, who starts out with Danton Cole and Doug Evans. Housley cuts to the middle, spins around. Beats Cole. Back to the corner. Just gave it away to Lee Norwood.
He thought Housley was going to stay in, as Housley usually does.
He went to the bench in a line change, though. Lemieux in at the end of a long shift. Checked by Olesen. Mantha comes up with the puck. Up the middle to McElwain. With Arneal and McDermott. McDermott shoots. Off the arm, and a loose puck in front of the net in the crease and held by Sean Burke.
Bodies all over the place.
Claude Lemieux was at the end of a long shift. Came slowly out of the Winnipeg zone to the bench, and they couldn't get a third man on the ice, and it allowed the Winnipeg Jets to go in a great chance.
Well, who's hurt at the bottom of all of this?
Dave McElwain.
And it's his knee. There's the breakout. See that Jersey player coming onto the ice, but obviously late. And that's what created the extra man advantage coming into the zone for the Jets.
How does McElwain get hurt?
Right. Oh, he twisted that knee.
And then everybody else came down on top of it.
Ooh.
Here it is again as he cuts for the front of the net. met by John McLean.
Knee to knee as well by McLean and McElwain. And twisting it, and you could see him grabbing it right there. Ooh, that doesn't look good for McElwain.
And Shanahan decked Arneal, and they both came crashing down on top of McElwain.
Ooh, you can see the look on Bob Murdoch's face and know what he's going through. Thinking we lost Steen already last week. Steen with speed, and McElwain's one of their fastest forwards, if not their fastest forward that's left.
He skated on his own the last few feet and then walks up the tunnel, and we hope that Dave McElwain is A-OK.
That was a good sign anyway.
Meantime, we're down to 1 minute and 40 seconds left in the third period of this game. 4-4. Sean Burke and Rick Tabaracci have both been tested in the last couple of minutes.
Look at the sweat just pouring off and dripping off of Sean Burke.
Goalies must lose a few pounds in tonight. Olczyk will face off against Peter Stastny. Ken Danico takes possession for New Jersey. Gave it away, passed it up the middle. Paslowski keeps the puck in behind the net. Eric Weinrich takes over for the Devils. Osborne in to check him. Weinrich safely around the boards on the left wing to Kirk Muller. Stastny breaking away, takes the pass, moves in, stopped by Tabaracci. What a great play by Stastny. Cut in behind the defense. Now another chance for the Devils. McLean shot deflected in front, and the Jets take over. Olczyk to Paslowski. Not at center. The Devils turn it over again. McLean, Stastny, and Muller put together on a line to try and win this for the Devils with less than a minute to go. Here's Kirk Muller over the blue line. Gave the puck away. Paslowski at center. Poked it away from John McLean. Moves in over the blue line. Checked by Weinrich. And Burke will hold on and stop the play with 43 seconds left in the third.
Oh, and now a big draw coming up for the Jets. Deep inside the Devils' end zone.
Tabaracci stopped Peter Stastny, who made a beautiful play at center to break in behind the defenseman Newman and take this pass.
He's such a great open ice player, Peter Stastny. He didn't have a great angle. Housley got back just to ensure that he didn't get even a better angle. Tabaracci came out to cut the angle down. But then Peter Stastny found himself right back in front of the net with a second opportunity. You can't let Peter Stastny alone in the offensive zone.
Now here we are, 43 seconds left in the game. McElwain is back out to take a face-off against former Jet Laurie Boschman. So McElwain's knee wasn't hurt very badly.
Boy, that's surprising.
Or at least if it's hurt, he's willing to come out on one leg and take the draw. Boschman won it. Sundstrom tipped the puck through center. Mantha turned it over and shot it back in. Kasatonov on the boards. McDermott kept the puck in. Kasatonov will try and come out the other way. Can't do it against Arneal. Back the other way and off the glass, but not out. Mantha to the front of the net. Burke made the save and held on. Burke was tipped in front of Burke, and he held on with 17 seconds left in the third.
Good work by McDermott in front of the net. Watch Kasatonov now. He wants to make the play all the time. He just doesn't want to ring that puck around the boards. He finally did, but not at the right time. It's so difficult for Kasatonov. He wants to be able to make that perfect play coming out. He wants to be able to put it right on his wingers or the center ice and stick. John Cuniff just says why we can't get it through his head just to ring it around the boards at times. May not look pretty, but it sometimes is more effective.
Boschman and McElwain on the draw again. McElwain won it. The blast is blocked. And deflects out to center. So it appears we'll go to overtime on Monday night in Winnipeg as the Jets have fought back. Still a chance, though. A loose puck at the front of the net as the seconds tick away. And the third period has come to an end, and we'll go to overtime at the Winnipeg Arena. Scored the overtime goal. Peter Stastny out with McLean and Muller. This line was put together just in the last few minutes for the Devils. With a line like that together, you got to think John Cuniff wants to win this.
Yeah,
They had a great shift just at the end of the third, didn't they? Norwood back for the puck. McElwain, Arneal, and McDermott, the forwards to start overtime for Bob Murdoch's Jets. Here's Stastny carrying the puck. Couldn't get it through to Muller. Stastny went down. Newman can't get the puck by him. And the wily veteran Stastny stops the play.
Newman was upset at himself because he knew with Stastny down, if he could have got that puck ahead along the boards, then they might have been able to create an odd man advantage.
Peter Stastny says really the only difference in his play now from a few years ago is the shifts are a little shorter than they used to be. But tonight I really haven't noticed that. He's played a lot. Played well.
Sure has.
Sits down and talks things over.
I went this way, I went that way.
Now Boschman's out with Lemieux and Sundstrom against Ashton, Sykes, and Kumpel. Wyman moved the puck in offside for the Devils. Eric Weinrich has had a good game tonight. Scored a goal in the first period, was +3 for those of you who like plus-minus stats in the first period alone.
John Cuniff said that Weinrich is good with the puck and he likes his abilities to set up the play, but he needs to see the whole ice a little bit better, and that will come with time.
Freddie Olsen looks up the ice. Plays the puck to Ashton, breaking down the right side. Kumpel's with him, but Ashton doesn't get farther than the blue line. Olsen dumps the puck in. Burke out to stop it. Danico's back to pick it up. Claude Lemieux for Laurie Boschman. 2-on-2. He's got Sundstrom with him. Dumps the puck in. Tabarachi's out to play it. Up to Sykes. Devils are on a change. Sykes to Ashton. Poke check to the blue line by Tommy Albaline. Minute and 10 seconds into overtime. Ashton flips the puck in the air into the crowd.
Jets were dangerously close of having too many men on the ice. Donnelly didn't come off. I should say Olsen didn't come off. And Housley went on. Housley got about 4 strides. For him, that's a lot of room off of the bench before he realized that he came on too early. An interesting matchup. Murdoch's trying to get the edge here.
He's put Conacher, Brown, and Shanahan together against Osborne, Olczyk, and Vasilevsky. Brown in on Housley, who held up. Brown went to the boards. Housley pins him there. Vasilevsky has Conacher. The loose puck comes to the Devils. Shanahan in the corner. Nobody in front to pass it to. Conacher was knocked down. Albaline at the point. Conacher decked in front of the net as he tried to tip it by Donnelly. Back come the Jets. Olczyk off the boards for Osborne. Blasts it. Burke the save. He juggled and held on.
Good hard drive, and coming off of the Jets rush after they had some problems in their own end zone. Watch Olczyk. He just uses the boards here, drops that puck back. Osborne takes it in full stride, hammers it. And Housley saw that puck. May have been bobbling loose, and boy, he started to get up and go. He loves those loose pucks.
And Osborne shaken up with the play. Another Jet casualty of the night. McElwain and Kumpel hurt earlier in this game. Bruce Driver. Arneal bearing down on him as Driver moves the puck ahead to Muller with Stastny and McLean as the Devils have shortened their bench for overtime. To the blue line and just out, says Shane Heyer, the linesman. Driver thought he'd kept the puck in.
Driver didn't agree with that. Bruce Driver has been a player that John Cuniff has continually utilized the most because he says he's his most consistent defenseman. He just wishes he had the abilities really to step up to that next level of defenseman, but at least he knows what he's getting.
Night in and night out, he has
got it.
To find defenseman.
He says, you know, that he ends up having more takeouts each game than any other player on their team, and he's not a big player by any means. He just gets in front.
The result of that is he plays a lot. He's got a lot of ice time again tonight. Cronin has to go for a new stick. Instead, he goes for a change. Newman reversed for Olesen. Up the boards for Scott Arniel. Turned over to the Devils. Now Seeger taking a shift with Stastny and Muller. Paul McDermott trying to get away from Norwood, who just stays with the man and lets Driver come back for the puck. McElwain right on him. The Driver turned away, made the pass to Stastny. He tried to tip it for Muller. Now he passes to Seeger. Lost it to Arniel. And the Jets dump it in and change on the fly. 2 minutes to go in the game. The Jets 4, the Devils 4. Sundstrom took the puck away from Mantha, and Mantha recovered and made the play on Sundstrom. Danton Cole to Doug Evans, cuts to the middle, to the front of the net. Behind Cole, and Weinrich takes over for Jersey. Off the glass to the blue line, not out. Elena tried to pass it to Cole, he couldn't get it. Mantha moves the puck in, a long shot on Berg. Less than a minute and a half to go in the game. At center, here's Brendan Shanahan. McLean trailing. The pass for Sundstrom, picked off by Ed Olczyk. Pat Elena gave the puck away to McLean at center. His pass to Sundstrom, one man back. And a drop pass was picked off by Doug Evans. 1:10 to go in the game. Weinrich up the middle. Boschman just tipped the puck. The Jets take over. A two-line pass from Newman into Olczyk. Offside with 1:01 to go in the game. The Jets started this homestand with a tie, then lost 2 in a row. Rather have a win, but given that they trailed by 2 3 times tonight, a tie might be all right. Boschman, Lemieux, and Conacher now against Olczyk, Paslowski, and Sykes. We're into the last minute of the game. Kasatonov is back for the puck behind Sean Burke. Off the boards by Conacher and down the ice. Newman is back to collect it. Safely up the boards to center. Kasatonov now. Leads a rush into the Winnipeg zone. Long shot. Tabaracci to save, and then he recovered to get the puck away from Conacher. Good play by Tabaracci because Conacher was on his own. Conacher intercepts a clearing attempt. Paslowski's all over him.